Hi guys, today I'll be making these ooey gooey cinnamon buns with a rich cream cheese topping. See how gorgeous they are? They smell wonderful, they're so soft and gooey and just delicious. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. Now you have to start these kind of early because they take a while to get done. There's several steps you have to make. The middle, you have to make the topping, and you actually have to make the buns, and the buns have to rise 2 times. So start early if you want these for dinner, okay? So let's get right into the ingredients that we're gonna need. 8 cups of all-purpose flour, it's not sifted. This is a stick of butter or half a cup. I'm gonna use a pack of instant vanilla Jell-O Pudding mix, 2 cups of cold milk, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a half cup of warm water, and 2 tablespoons of yeast. And if you are not buying your yeast like this, you need 2 of those little packets, okay? So first we activate the yeast by adding it to some warm water, and I'm going to steal some of the sugar from the whole allotment of sugar for the buns just to activate the yeast, okay? Now the next thing I do is go ahead and beat the eggs lightly, and then we make the Jell-O pudding. And you make it regular, okay? You just go ahead and add the mix, add cold water, and whisk, and then set it aside. Now it's time to make a well in the middle of the flour, add the remaining sugar, add the eggs, of course next the yeast mixture, and then the butter which I melted. Now I'm going to work this in first before I add anything else to the mixture. And then now it's time for me to add the Jell-O pudding mix because it's starting to firm up on me. So I have to move quickly, okay? So just add it a little bit at a time and just get it worked into the dough. It's already starting to smell different because the Jell-O pudding has a sweet smell to it. Now what I do is add a little bit of warm water, a little bit at a time, until I get the dough to start clinging together, okay? You want to do it a little bit at a time because you don't want to over wet the dough because that would be the worst thing that could happen. So then get both hands in there, so remove all your jewelry and stuff, okay? And just kind of work it in, work it in. If you need more water, add a little bit more. And at some point, your hands are going to start like bugging you. So then you just kind of wash them, dry them, and then get it back into the dough, put it on the counter, and just work this dough over, okay? It's fun kneading. I love kneading so much. And so add a little bit of flour to the countertop if it's a little bit too sticky. And of course, I'm working this into that big ball that I always get. See, here it is. And then I'm going to place it back in the same bowl that I made it in because I don't want to clean anything else. Cover it up, put it away. 1 hour later, take a look. It's ready. So now it's just time to get the dough from the bowl and then toss it on the counter and then punch it like it owes you money. I'm just kidding. You don't really have to punch it. You just have to knead it to get the air bubbles out, okay? So I'm going to put some flour on the top, get it out the way, and then I'm going to put some flour on the counter. And then what I do is use a rolling pin, but I also use my hands to flatten as I go along, and I'm trying to make a big rectangle, and it's going to be like 34 long by 21 wide. See, you need a big workspace, okay? So now here comes the next part. I'm going to melt this half a block of butter here. It's 2 sticks, but you don't need the whole 2 sticks, so just do 1. Here we go, 2 cups of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And you don't put too much cinnamon, okay, because it's going to be overwhelming if you put too much cinnamon. So get this worked in, and it's very simple. You know, the other recipe that I have at the site, you kind of mix the butter in with this and it makes a paste and it's hard to spread. This is so much easier. I'm just using a barbecue brush to just saturate the dough with some butter, and this will make the dough receive, if you will, the cinnamon and the brown sugar mixture more easily. So get all the corners, sprinkle, 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 use up all the sugar, the brown sugar and the cinnamon, okay? See? A beautiful dusting. This is not even a light dusting. This is a thick dusting. Now it's time to pinch and roll. Have some patience with it because it's kind of sticky. Look at my bony little fingers. I should have been a surgeon or a baker or something, right? So anyways, roll, 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 roll. This is fun. I'm really liking this, you know. It's kind of fun when you like working with dough. And so now it looks like a big old snake. So I'm just going to kind of move it, and you can turn it down, but you want to seal it first, okay? And then you turn the seal side downward and get a tape measure because we're going to need to measure and score. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and use our brush with a little bit of that melted butter to just brush the bottom and the sides of my pan. You guys recognize this thing from my friend Sharon, right? So now I've scored 2-inch marks on the length of the dough. See, perfect size. This is, oh, it feels so good in the palm of my hands. And just keep cutting them with a sharp knife and then putting them next to each other in the bowl. I got 12 in this one. And I have another small bowl. I'm preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Cover this up, set this aside for about 20 minutes. Now it's time to make the top, and this is what we're going to need here. Cheese, cream cheese, butter, vanilla extract, some powdered sugar, and some milk. Now here it is 20 minutes later, and it's time to go into the oven. So into the oven it goes for about 20 minutes. You don't want to cook it too long because you don't want them to get too hard or too dry, okay? So now while this is cooking, we're going to be making the frosting. Here it comes. We're going to add the 1 stick of butter to 2 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm using a wooden spoon right now to just kind of break it up, but I already know I'm going to have to use my hand mixer. This is 8 ounces of cream cheese. Any brand will do, and I diced it into small pieces to make it work a little bit better. But I already know that I'm going to have to switch out to the mixer. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to need about 5 tablespoons of milk. So I start off with 2. And just use the hand mixer right here to go ahead and start blending really, really well. And then add more milk as I go along. So I'm adding like a couple more tablespoons of milk right here. And pretty soon it's going to get too thick for my hand mixer. So I'm going to have to switch out back to my wooden spoon again. So there's the 5th one. And now it's time to go back to the wooden spoon to make sure I get all the spots that didn't get covered. So pick up all the dry sugar right here. Just stir it really well. And this is smelling good too. I love cream cheese frosting. Clean off the wooden spoon, you know, get every little piece off of it. And then now the spatula, just kind of mix it really well. It's so thick and creamy, and it smells so awesome because of the vanilla extract. So now the buns are done. 20 minutes later, they're done. Look how gorgeous these are. You would not believe how this kitchen smells right now. So now it's time to put some of that same melted butter again. That's why I tell you we don't need the whole 2 sticks, okay? 1 stick will do the trick because this is what we use the butter for. And I'm using a barbecue brush to just brush the melted butter onto the buns because this is another little trick, guys. This is what makes the frosting stick better to the buns, okay? So you brush it while it's hot, and then you use your spatula to just slather. I love that word so much. Just slather the cream cheese frosting on top of the buns. Make sure you catch it all. Save some for the small container and just go ahead and spread it. And at some point, you're going to need to use your butter knife to make sure every bun gets doused really, really, really well. And I am so drooling. This is going to be so delicious. Now it's time for the first one to come out. Take a look, guys. Oh my goodness, who wants this one? Me, 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 me. You know what? I'm sure this is not good for you. Alright guys, before I taste the cinnamon buns, I want to give a special shout out to Marguerite Guillory. Marguerite is Miss Gretel's daughter. Miss Gretel is my mom's friend. And Marguerite, I know when you called and asked your mom, do you know that lady that has the YouTube show Cooking All the Beliefs Food with the book Beans and Rice and Jesus Christ? Your mom's response was so funny to me because she said, "That's not no lady, that's just Babsy." And that was so funny to me because I know Miss Gretel and I know what she meant by it, and she's right. I'm no lady, I'm just Babsy, right? Anyways, Marguerite, thank you so much for the service you're doing for our country. I know you're in Germany right now and you're enjoying the shows over there, making all the foods. Continue to make them, and when you come back to America, give me a shout, okay? Perhaps we can meet one day. Thanks a lot for watching, and share for me, alright? I have another cinnamon bun recipe at the side already, and I love that recipe, but this one is even better because of the Jell-O pudding mix that we put inside. It makes it that much more moist and that much more sticky and gooey, and even the smell is different. It's absolutely wonderful, guys. I know you guys are gonna like this if you try it. If you like this video, hit like below for me. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you for sharing the show for me. And until I see you guys again, take care. Once a month. So good.